September 11, 2020, approximately 3:30 a.m. A pair of Hillside Police Department officers were patrolling the area of North Broad Street in New Jersey when they happened to stumble across a curious sight. A blue Mitsubishi Outlander was parked on the side of the road, or rather, the vehicle was perched halfway on the sidewalk, with the other half lingering in the street. The officers approached the vehicle to find a man and woman asleep in the front seats of the vehicle.
Tell me if this car's in park, right? Receive, we got two on board. Try not to wake one of them up.
Nope. Hillside Police, sir. Yo, wake up. Police. You okay? You wake up your girlfriend? Who is this? You wake her up? Yes. What's her name?
Just turn the car off. Turn the car off.
In New Jersey, it's perfectly legal for a driver to sleep inside their car, but there are several things wrong with this particular situation. Most notably, the car is parked halfway on the sidewalk and halfway on the street in an active lane, which is not okay. A driver who wishes to sleep must be parked somewhere where parking is allowed for multiple hours at a time, such as a rest area or some parking lots. Contrary to popular belief, the shoulder of the road is also not an approved place for a driver to pull over and get some shut-eye. Not to mention, it's just extremely dangerous. Another red flag is the state of the driver. This isn't your normal power nap. This suspect is out cold. When officers come across drivers in such a deep state of slumber, it's considered a sign that they might be under the influence and trying to sleep off the drugs or alcohol.
Hey, what's going on?
Where you guys coming from? Where you guys coming from?
Miss.
Car's in park.
Miss. Miss. Leave the car off. Leave the car off. Just step outside the car.
Turn the car off. Where's the key to the car? Right here. Okay, you get the key to the car. Thank you. Yes.
Just do me a favor, walk onto the sidewalk, please.
Where you guys from, sir?
Just walk over to the sidewalk for me.
Stay in the car. Where you guys from?
Over there.
Yeah, stay in the car.
Yeah, just hang out with me for a
Yeah,
second.
sure, stay in the car. Hang out here.
Can you just walk over to the passenger side, miss? What's your name?
Vanessa Reyes.
Vanessa
Well,
Reyes.
right now we're trying to figure out what's going on because it seems like you guys are
Yeah.
have both been drinking.
There you go.
Okay? You can't be driving if you're drinking.
Where are you coming from?
It took us a while to wake you up. I had to open your door to wake you up.
You coming from home? Or are you going home?
No, I'm going home.
Huh?
Where are you coming from?
Literally a birthday party.
Okay. Was there alcohol involved at that birthday party? Okay. All right, listen, because of the way that we observed you in the driver's seat and the way that you're reacting.
The language used in New Jersey's definition of driving is very specific. Revised Statute 39-4-50 defines drunk driving as a person who operates a motor vehicle while under the influence of intoxicating liquor, narcotic, hallucinogenic, or habit-producing drug, or operates a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol concentration of 0.08% or more. Using the term operates instead of drives a motor vehicle implies that the vehicle doesn't have to be moving in order for the suspect to be guilty of driving under the influence. The driver need only be sitting in the driver's seat to be charged, whether the car is moving or not.
phone for now, okay?
Forward, every falso copy.
You gotta hang up the phone.
See.
Ma'am, do me a favor, hang up the phone, okay? Hang up the phone. Hang up the phone. We're gonna do a field sobriety test, okay? As of right now, you were sleeping behind the wheel. The car was in park at least, but you were sleeping. Looks like you're intoxicated. You're talking slurred.
Not sleeping.
You were definitely sleeping because we pulled up right next to you. It's on camera, okay? So listen, right now we're gonna do a field sobriety test, check for intoxicants. You got an open bottle of liquor on the passenger floor, okay? It took us a while to wake you up. Your speech is slurred. You're slow. We're telling you the car's turned off. You turn the car on, turn it off, turn it on again. So we're gonna do a field sobriety test, okay? Let me see the phone real quick. Put the phone right here for a second. Okay? Come over here.
She got shoes.
Do you have shoes or no?
No, I took them off because I'm not driving with heels on.
Vanessa, are you taking any medication that will prevent you from doing this?
Yes, I am.
What are you
What
taking?
kind of medication are you taking?
I just take Tylenol and I'm definitely off of.
You take Tylenol, you said?
So Tylenol?
Okay. Do you have any kind of injuries on your legs, hips, anything like that?
Just my back and my side and my left and my right.
What do you have?
Just definitely my daughter just jumping on my back.
Okay, so nothing medical right now?
Nothing medical,
Okay.
but more so just taking care of her.
Okay. All right. So look, I'm gonna demonstrate the test for you. Before you do it, just watch me and listen to what I'm gonna say. Okay? All right. So the first test that we're gonna do is called the one-legged stand. Okay? After I explain it to you, I'm gonna demonstrate it, and then I'll tell you to do it. All right?
Sure.
Okay. So the one-legged stand, pretty much, you're gonna stand. Just be standing there. You're gonna have 1 foot up, about a few inches off the ground. You're gonna look at your toe. You're gonna count out loud: 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000. You're gonna continue counting until I tell you to stop. Okay? All right? Do you understand the test?
Sure.
Okay, you can go ahead and start. Hands at your side. Hands off the car. Hands at your side. You're going to hold your foot up. Go ahead and start.
So just say 1,000.
No.
1,000.
The suspect immediately forgot all but one of the directions for the one-leg stand. Seeing as this test doesn't have much instructions to begin with, this isn't a good way to start the first exam.
Did you understand my directions?
You said 1,000.
I'm going to demonstrate it one more time, okay?
Okay.
Listen. Okay, you're going to be standing there, hands at your side, okay?
Okay.
You're going to lift 1 foot up off the ground. You're going to be looking at your toe, and you're going to be counting out loud: 1 1,000,
I have
2
one bad
1,000.
ankle. I do have one bad ankle.
Okay, so lift that ankle up then. Use that foot to lift it up, right? Don't. Let me finish explaining
I used
first.
to do dancing. I did
Okay, can I
dancing.
finish
have
explaining
one
first
leg.
before you start?
You said one bad
Okay,
ankle,
so put your
one
leg
bad
down
ankle.
for now. Put your leg down for now.
Sure.
So you're going to lift your 1 foot up, right, off the ground. Look at your toe with your hands at your side, and you're going to count out loud: 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000. Keep counting until I tell you to stop, okay? Do you understand?
1,000, 2
I didn't-
1,000.
You can't be
1,000.
touching the car, ma'am.
I have one bad ankle injury.
Okay, so don't lift that ankle.
As
Don't
of
use that
Okay.
weight on that.
17.
So
Okay.
Okay.
You can't touch the car, though. You have to be standing on your own. Hands at your
Okay.
side.
There we go.
You're still touching the car, ma'am.
leaning on the car.
I'm not.
You are. Your
But
whole
I
elbow's
have
on the
one
car.
bad ankle.
Your elbows.
I know. Lift that ankle up then. Use that leg to not touch the ground.
Move over here.
Okay, come over to the side. Come over to the side. Go ahead and start.
Yeah, literally, I have one
Okay.
bad ankle since
Okay.
like 9th grade.
Okay, that's fine. Start right there.
So, okay. One bad ankle. Two bad ankle.
That's
three.
not what we're counting.
4,
Okay.
5.
All right, you can stop. That's fine. So I'm gonna do.
7, 8.
Not only did she not even really attempt the test, but she managed to piss the patrolman off along the way. Typically, officers will administer 3 to 4 sobriety tests in order to come to a complete and accurate conclusion of whether or not a suspect is displaying signs of intoxication. But seeing as the suspect's immature behavior isn't allowing the officer to properly assess her sobriety anyway, and considering how badly she failed the first test, it seems the officer has narrowed it down to just one more test. Unless she gets the next one perfect, we can all guess where our driver is going to be headed next, and it's not home.
That's fine.
Okay.
So we're gonna do one more test, okay? It's called the walk and turn test. All right. I'm gonna demonstrate it first, and then you'll do it after, okay? Okay. All right. So you're gonna start off with your left foot in front of your right foot, hands at your side, okay? You're gonna walk in a straight line, counting out each step. Don't start until I finish telling you how to do it, okay? I'm gonna demonstrate it first. You're gonna count all the way 9 steps, then you're gonna pivot, turn around, do the same thing back, okay? So I'm gonna demonstrate it for you. You're gonna start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're gonna pivot around, okay? Don't lift your right foot off the ground, and then you're going to go back, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The entire time with your hands at your side, okay? Go ahead and start.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Okay.
9. Is that what you were saying?
Start. Okay. All right. Put your hand in there for me. I'm placing under arrest for suspicion DUI, okay? Driving under influence.
The execution of the test itself admittedly wasn't bad, but ultimately she failed at the turnaround and is now being placed under arrest. She doesn't seem too bothered by this now, but her good spirits will surely vanish when she realizes just how seriously New Jersey prosecutes drunk driving violations. Those found operating a vehicle with a blood alcohol content of at least 0.08%, but lower than 0.1%, face as much as $400 in fines, as many as 30 days in jail, a 3-month license suspension, completion of a 2-day drunk driving program, and the installation of an ignition interlock device for up to a year after the license is reinstated.
Do you have any shoes in the car?
Just walk home. Walk home.
Let me see this real quick. Let me see your hand real quick. Can you put it down for me, Daniel? Stand over here by the car. Okay.
Like, I will literally walk home. Like, tell them I will leave the car here and I will walk home.
Well, we have to tow the car.
You have to tow it?
Yeah, for John's law.
Oh my god, because I already have a DUI.
You have a DUI already, you said?
Yes, please, I will walk home.
The driver has just admitted to having a prior DUI charge. This does make a huge difference, but not a positive one. Revised Statute 39(4)-50 gives special penalties to drivers with multiple offences. For a second violation, a person shall be subject to a fine of not less than $500 nor more than $1,000 and shall perform community service for a period of 30 days and shall be sentenced to imprisonment for a term of not less than 48 consecutive hours or more than 90 days and shall forfeit the right to operate a motor vehicle for a period of not less than 1 year or more than 2 years upon conviction. Also, in order to have their license reinstated, the repeat offender must apply directly to the Chief Administrator of the Motor Vehicle Commission, upon which time their application may be granted or denied, depending on a number of factors. Following the reinstatement of their license, they may have ignition interlock devices installed in each one of their vehicles for a period of up to 3 years. It would probably do the suspect best at this point to practice a Fifth Amendment right to remain silent.
Walk home. I will walk home from here. I will literally just walk from here. Please. Please, 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 please. I'm trying to be a real estate agent.
Hey, Ms. Reyes, I gotta read you a form real quick, okay?
I have a question.
What's that?
Okay, so originally, I had a situation where there was a man that came to my house, to my mother's house,
Okay.
and just ripped it apart. Ripped it apart. Not my problem, but he ripped it apart. But Hillside has not been able to find him.
Okay.
He continues to threaten my mother's house. She's like 50, 60.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do from there?
She's gonna have to come and make a report with that for harassment.
They continue to do that now.
Okay. Well, she's gonna have to keep making reports.
And then that's just it, right?
Well, if they're still trying to find them, they're still trying to find them. I mean,
They can't find them. Hillside can't
Okay,
find them.
then
Elizabeth can't find
they're gonna
them.
probably have the
Can't
warrant out.
find them. And there's many in
So
every
then,
state.
yeah, whenever they
can't
see him,
find
they'll whenever and he
So
has
just
police
get her ass
contact.
whooped, and whenever they
No,
need
it's not how that
you,
works. All right, right now we're gonna
That
deal with
is
this,
how it
okay?
works. Go
Right
ahead,
now,
sir.
so we get, just listen to me. Okay?
The amount of self-absorption the suspect is displaying is astonishing. She's not at all concerned for the lives she could have potentially tore apart tonight by deciding to drive home. To her credit, unlike other suspected DUI drivers who have to be pulled over by police, this suspect pulled off the road on her own volition in order to sleep off the booze. But the fact of that matter is that she still drove, which, provided that she's under the influence, is still a crime. Furthermore, the amount of remorse or shame displayed by the subject is a factor that's very often taken into consideration when deciding their sentence, and the driver's attitude honestly does not imply that she won't do this again, and a sentence will likely reflect that.
Listen, number 1, you have been arrested for driving while intoxicated, NJSA 39450. 2, the law requires you submit samples of your breath for the purpose of testing to determine alcohol content. Number 3, a record of the taking of the breath samples, including the test results, will be made. Upon your request, a copy of the record will be made available to you. 4, after you have provided samples of your breath for testing, you have the right at your own expense to have a person or physician of your own selection take independent samples of your breath, blood, or your urine for independent testing. If you refuse to provide samples of your breath, you will be issued a separate summons for the refusal. A court may find you guilty of both refusal and driving while intoxicated. If a court finds you guilty of the refusal, you will be subject to various penalties, including license revocation of up to 20 years, a fine of up to $2,000, installation of an ignition interlock, and referral to an intoxicated driver.
As we can see, refusing to take a breathalyzer test also comes with some heavy consequences. This is because declining the test would be to breach the implied consent law, a law upheld by most but not all US states that says that any time a person drives, they are automatically consenting to undergoing substance testing by police if they are reasonably suspected of being intoxicated. Thus, refusing the breathalyzer test is directly breaking the law in the state of New Jersey. On top of that, the only other way besides test results to assess whether or not the suspect was intoxicated would be by her conduct during the body cam recordings. Needless to say, that footage won't help our suspect's case at all, especially given that the offender announced the discovery of an open bottle of liquor inside the vehicle. Strategically, it would be in her best interest to submit to the test.
Testing. I repeat, the law requires you to submit samples of your breath for testing. Will you submit samples of your breath?
I do not understand. Are you saying that I can have an Attorney Straza,
So here, so right here, look. I'm read this again.
That I do not have a right.
Listen. Number 7, you have no legal right to have an attorney, physician, or anyone else present for the purpose of taking the breath samples. You have no legal right to refuse to give or delay giving samples of your breath. So, will you submit samples of your breath?
No.
No?
I would need an attorney, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, I just read it to you.
So I would need an attorney.
Will you submit?
Ultimately, don't you need an attorney for anything?
Listen, I'll read it to you one more time. Number 7 says,
Sure, go ahead.
you have no legal right to have an attorney, physician, or anyone else present for the purpose of taking the breath samples. You have no legal right to refuse to give or delay giving samples of your breath. So the question number 9 says, I repeat, the law requires you to submit samples of your breath for testing. Will you submit samples of your breath?
One question. You don't have a right to have an attorney for under any understanding, and you can only do a sobriety test? You have
I just told you, I just told you, this is about giving...
I don't understand. I'm just trying to understand.
This is about giving samples of your breath.
You have an attorney to do a sobriety test? You don't have to?
No, you don't.
You don't have the right to?
You don't have to have an attorney present to do a field sobriety test.
Have public
What's the yes or no is the question. Will you submit
I just don't understand, sir.
Okay, so what do you want me to read you again? Number 7 again?
Can you please read it?
The officer rereads the entirety of the second half of the document again, and when he's done, the driver is presented with a question for a third time.
Breath samples. You have no legal right to refuse to give or delay giving samples of your breath. Okay? I repeat, the law requires you to submit samples of your breath for testing. Will you submit the samples of your breath?
Is that the state of New Jersey or the state
I'm asking you,
Hillside?
will you submit the samples of your breath? This is New Jersey.
It's New Jersey in entirety.
So what's your answer?
Can I request your permission as a police officer?
I don't have any advice for you. I just have to answer the question.
I
do not know. I'm reading you the paper from the state.
As the state of New Jersey.
So I read you. I read you.
The state of New Jersey or the state
It
of
is.
Hillside Township?
This is New Jersey Attorney General standard statement for New Jersey.
I do not understand. I cannot comply.
So you won't? Okay.
The driver attempts to attribute her refusal to not understanding the information that's been read to her a generous amount of times. However, the information presented is very clear. Either she just doesn't want to believe that there's really a circumstances where she doesn't have the right to a lawyer, or, more likely, she just doesn't want to take the test because she knows what the results will be. Regardless of the reason now, she's been jotted down as a no, which will come back to bite her hard.
Attorney to go into a machine.
What he is telling me is that I have to comply to a certain thing for me to breathe into something to get me in trouble.
So listen, I wrote down your response already. Okay, so look, your answer is not acceptable.
You also have a
Listen,
camera on,
I do.
and I do not understand what you're telling me to say.
Do you want to read it yourself?
You're reading it to me, and what I'm telling you is that
I read the same thing to you.
And I'm also not arguing with you, sir.
Okay, so what's your answer? Will you take the test or not?
I do not understand what you're saying. What I'm trying to say is I do not comply under the reasoning of that I do not understand what you are saying, and I'm asking you to repeat yourself.
I did.
You are complying with this, and I still do not understand.
So
what the reasoning is.
What part don't you understand? What part?
He's telling me that I need to do a breathalyzer under the understanding of the fact of blank. I do not understand.
So look, I'll read it to you one more time. It says here, you have no legal right to have an attorney, physician, or anyone else present for the purpose of taking the breath samples. Do you understand that part?
Continue.
You have no legal right to refuse to give or delay giving samples of your breath, okay?
Sure.
Okay, so number 9, I asked you, I repeat, the law requires you to submit samples of your breath for testing. Will you submit to samples of your breath? And you told me, I don't understand, I will not provide. So that's what I wrote down on the paper. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I have to read you one more thing. So your answer is not acceptable. The law requires that you submit samples of your breath for breath testing. If you do not answer or answer with anything other than yes, I will charge you with refusal. Now I ask you again, will you submit to breath testing? No? Okay.
The suspect is now given an unequivocal refusal to the test. This is ultimately advantageous to the officers, since she can no longer go back and use ignorance as the basis for a refusal.
He has it written down.
It's November 1.
Take this. Just ask one witness first. All right. Maybe I'm just going to read you something real quick. All right, so
Go ahead.
before we ask you any questions, you must understand your rights, okay?
My rights is that my daughter done got to beat the fuck up. Hillside ain't do shit to fucking save her fucking life. Her fucking baby father is still fucking running around. Y'all still ain't fucking find him. Y'all still
I understand you're upset about that. Okay, I'm sure they're doing.
Go ahead, read it to him.
Okay.
Read it to him.
You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand this?
Read it to him.
So you don't want me to read you your rights?
My rights is to what? That you're gonna keep continuing to.
No, I'm trying to read you your rights.
My baby father is still out here whipping bitches' asses and my daughter.
I'm just trying to read your rights, okay?
Okay, because I wanted to have a couple of shots before I came home. While he doing what? Continue.
Right. You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand this?
Y'all don't understand that.
Yes?
I understand
Okay.
the bullshit. Go ahead.
The driver has just passively admitted to having a few shots before starting on her way home. She's only making things worse for herself. Well, herself and the officers who are trying to wrap this up. The suspect was charged with refusal to submit a chemical test, consent to take samples of breath, and driving under the influence. Around 15 minutes later, she would finally be picked up by her father. A huge thank you to Drive-Thru Tours for providing us with this video. You can view and drop a like on the raw footage over on their channel. If you want more of the craziest police encounters, have a look at our previous videos and subscribe to be notified of brand new police stops. Until we meet again, know the law and drive wisely.